This is Mona Lisa Baseball, Season 2, Episode 11. Again, like we've said 1,000 times, it always comes back to the DH, but hear me out on this one. That rule got changed, and now more rules are getting changed. So as rules keep changing, it becomes less and less accurate to call it the sport of baseball, because baseball represented a different version of itself many years ago and held that for a very long time. But now, as things start changing, it's going to resemble that sport less. So I think you have to change the name.
Yeah, American hardball.
Yeah, American hardball. So then...
Well, what would Will Smith say?
Yeah, I mean, the version is, if you're going to do all this nonsense, take the word baseball out your fucking mouth. I don't think you can call it baseball without line, but you've created something else, so call it something else.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how they're getting away with it.
Well, it all started with the DH in the 70s. That's exactly where it started.
No, but there's no naming police. You know, you're allowed to call it whatever you want. So there's...
Oh. Well, if we can successfully get them to change the name, then we can break their monopoly.
Boy, that sounds like a tall order.
Just argue that it's not baseball anymore.
It seems impossible to get to the point where you're not getting laughed out of the room. Only.
I know. Well,
it's like, get the fuck out of my face with that.
But imagine, a world where they're changing the rules even more drastically. And
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And there's more of us, and we are legion. Imagine that world, and where there is some significant pushback to this. There's significant pushback to the runner on second base in the 10th inning. People hate it.
Okay.
Everyone hates it.
Okay, so... So people are gathering and organizing.
At least
being
there's
some
something.
Of this. Yeah.
They've got something to hold on to.
They're not only being applauded. Every new thing that comes, it's like, great.
I haven't heard anyone say that they like that. Not a single person say that they like it.
I got 2 on my list when I got feedback from the show. 2 people said, I don't mind that at all. And they're both significantly older than me. And I think they've come to the point where they've spent enough innings involved with baseball where they're like, I go to bed early. They play a lot of night games. Mm-hmm. I can't stay up. It's going 11, 12, 13. Like, I'm out. They just leave.
I don't care.
Their sleep is more important to finding out who won this game.
But their sleep is not more important than the sanctity of the game.
I mean, I don't think they're saying that it is. Those people are just saying, you lost me, I'm going to bed.
They're already going to bed.
They're already going to bed. But when there's a rule that speeds that along, to them, it's like, hey, I'd rather catch the end of the game and see who won because I know it's only going to be, like, what do you think?
Is that a good or a bad thing, though? Shouldn't Grandpa be going to bed at his normal time?
I mean, the way to solve that is play more day games.
Mm-hmm. Good
luck with that.
Yeah.
The only day that things seem to be able to be prime time in the afternoon is Sunday.
Television. It's all about the TV.
Yeah, the TV took over the...
Right. So one of the interesting things about baseball...
the timing of the sport. Yeah.
Is that slowly over time, baseball went from a 100% in-person attendance revenue model for the teams to a 1% or 10%. I don't know what it is. I wonder
what it is. I'm curious.
But it's not, it's small.
It's pretty small.
Compared to the TV contracts and the jersey sales and the hats and all that and the video games and all of that. The teams are making way, way more money than they are from the tickets. The tickets are very expensive.
So they're only profiting from their ticket sales because they can, or they're only raising prices because there's another person behind that's willing to pay?
In each ballpark, the ticket prices and the concession prices are based on what that market can afford. And it's different in different ballparks. Different ballparks have different deals. Yeah. And there's a lot of deals, where you go and you get like the family deal. So it just depends on where where you're going and what the capacity and what the sellout situation is on any given team, and this ebbs and flows. Sometimes there's more interest than there's others. Sometimes a team is good, sometimes a team is bad. Sometimes there's a global pandemic. Only that's supposed to only happen like every 100 years.
Yeah.
Television. It's all about TV now. So the audience is on TV. We've been making all the changes recently that I've heard of are all about TV. I mean, and that's why I think we put a television set on the cover art first for one of the episodes. I think it was the second one.
I think so.
Because it's just like, this is a television product. This is an entertainment product made for television now. That is the most important thing.
Okay, you just said something very important. The line has been crossed where they're not documenting what happens in the game. They are telling the game how it needs to play itself. And that is extraordinarily bad for art.
We've seen how this plays out in football, where they have the light where they cannot play the game until the network is like, the cream cheese commercial is over. Okay, go.
Don't get me started.
No, we got the Doritos ad in. Go ahead and play ball, guys. Go ahead. You're good.
And now you're good.
Play football. You would have riled me up if I was in your section. I would have been like, yeah.
Hands on hips in a NFC Championship game. Do you know where the Beatles played their last concert?
Their final concert? No.
Their final concert.
I don't know that.
It's a good fun fact to know.
Was it Candlestick?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. 66, I think.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy, though? The Beatles played their last concert in 66. Hadn't even dropped Sgt. Pepper's.
Yoko Ono.
Abbey Road. Those were all waiting. I mean, good on them for all of a sudden realizing, you know what? I think I'm done with the concert thing. Like, let's make music.
I think there was some incidents at that concert.
Yeah.
Yeah, like some action happened. Right? You know what? I'm not old enough to know. I just kind of have like echoes of things you see on TV. I was not alive during that.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if they had any inkling while they were there, knowing this might be our last show, or if it just kind of
what if this is our last show and we don't know it right now? Yeah, this is the last time we do this. Never know. I mean, we're both very off the microphone. Anonymous 1 and Anonymous 2 are very depressed about baseball. Like, this is hard to do, you guys. This is difficult. Yeah. The season's about to start. Everything's...
You're watching...
It's so fucked.
You're watching the beautiful animal just slowly... It's like, well...
And we're compelled to talk about it.
Do we need to put the animal down?
We're compelled to talk about it because it hurts us deeply. Like, you drove a vast distance to come here so that we could kind of get this in before opening day.
Yeah. The feeling I've had for several years is someone's got to do it. And eventually I listened to it enough and made it so. And I'm so glad you heard it. Because I doubled the size of my army.
Yeah. We've got some people.
And now, we're at least 6 times bigger now. Formidable opponent, though.
Yeah. Both of us are kind of humble. We don't want to, I don't know, like, there's so many things that we don't want to do because they're cheesy, like, oh.
One thing you don't want to do is go down the road of claiming how humble you are.
Well, no, let me put it this way, dude. Like, if you want to be popular and talk about baseball, we're doing it wrong. Right? We're not anywhere close to doing very easy things to get clicks and likes and stuff. Like, we could just talk about trades. We could have hot takes on, things that are happening in baseball right now that aren't rule changes that MLB has indoctrinated an entire generation to know that was inevitable and should have happened last year. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's where we are on those things.
Yeah, but that's like saying, if we did the lesser version, we'd be as popular as the other people.
If we were in this for fame, we'd have totally different content, right?
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
So just the fact that we're talking about, in a very critical way, the game, if you want to be a part of Major League Baseball media, if you want to make money, get clicks, like you talk about spring training. Who's doing what in spring training? We'd be talking about who got traded to this, who got let go, who got injured. Like, this is what you'd be talking about.
Yeah, but I don't think those people are getting clicks because of the content that they're saying. I think they're getting clicks because they are already known or thought of as a representative of baseball.
It's both.
So no matter what they're saying.
No, it's both, because people are I heard Tatis got traded, searching for Tatis. Okay. Uh-huh. It's both. So maybe they have an audience that they're building, but they will also be all looking for new people. Okay. And so new people you can go to Google Analytics and see what people are searching for today, this hour, the last 3 hours.
Oh, and then throw it up.
That's why there's a million videos up there about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. Mm-hmm. Okay. I lost respect for a couple of broadcasters because it's like, this is a baseball guy, this is a science guy, and yet they did a video about that. And I guess that just speaks to how popular this thing was. Like, these broadcasters were like, this is so lucrative, I can't not do it because I have all the equipment to like make an episode of something really quickly. I'm talking about process stuff. I don't want to talk about this stuff. I'm sorry. I just got off on a tangent. I apologize.
I think all you really wanted to start was you wanted to defend the idea that what we've set out to do is difficult, and that's alter a ugly path that we're seeing.
I feel like it's mission impossible what we're trying to do.
It feels that way right now, but it should when you're a week from opening day.
Yeah.
With all the deck stacked against us for 2023, let's make some wagers right now. Those things you mentioned earlier, the shift, all that stuff. Is there any chance that none of those get picked up? I don't think so. I'll answer my own question.
Yeah, the fact that there's a lot of people are like, on deck for 2023. We're looking at the bigger bases. We're looking at the pitch clock. We're looking at the banning the shift.
They're going to continue to talk about it in that way.
It's probably going to be like 2 out of 3 or something. They're just going to test the waters and see what people say.
But everyone's okay with it.
Well, I'd say there is some resistance to banning the shift. There's a ton of resistance against automatic runner on second.
Yet it still came back.
Well, we can talk about why that happened. I think we already did. The players advocated for it because they thought it would reduce injuries and game times, obviously, that helped them, make their flights or whatever. And, I get it from their point of view. Yeah, well, whatever.
What could possibly stop the ban of the shift?
Enough people saying how dumb it is and how it's not smart and how...
No, here's what's going to happen. Let me crystal ball you.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing that it's on deck, people are going to be real interested in getting their clicks, and every single opportunity that there is to make videos on why the shift is stupid will be made.
Oh, it's already being made.
People will watch them, and then it will just become this on deck thing. Finally, the shift is ending.
Well, no, here's the thing.
And there will be a promise that the sport gets better now because of it.
I think that there is a chance to reverse some of these rules, and ironically, the rule about the automatic runner on second is an example of this in the fact that it did go away. It did come off the table. It made its way back in because of some maneuvering by the players or somebody, whatever, how these things work. We don't really know how these things work. We can only kind of speculate, but it got back in into the final or into the most recently updated draft of the agreement. And, that's where we are. And that is universally hated. I haven't found a single maybe some people who shrug it off and are neutral about it, but
just my 2 people.
Right.
I mean, it would make
almost universally hated because it's just dumb. It's not a fun, and it's most people would like to, they're on board with resolving games quickly, but they just want to do it maybe in a more fun, different way. And a lot of these guys are channel changers, multi-sports guys, and I don't value their opinion, really. I really don't. In fact, it's channel changing people who just want to tune into the most exciting things and everything. Like, baseball is not made... You can have ADD and be into baseball, but not in that way. And you can't keep comparing it to other sports. It's different. It's like comparing, like swimming and cricket, comparing competitive shooting and, like squirrel suit flying. Okay, they're just different things. They look similar. You can watch it on TV. There's like roughly a number of guys on each team. They wear a uniform that's the same. Okay. Oh, there's 2 leagues. Whatever. I think it's really funny that the other sports kind of, fell into this paradigm of why 2 leagues. In baseball, it doesn't matter anymore. They have the same rules, it's kind of, it's not the same. It's completely different. You cannot compare NASCAR and bull riding. Okay. There's similarities.
Both dangerous.
It's a guy on a heavy object.
On a fast thing.
So
Don't get hurt, buddy.
Exactly how I feel when they're like, well, baseball needs to be more like basketball. Fuck that. It's nothing like it. It's only similar, and then it's popular, and it's a sport with a team.
Yeah, if there was ever a preaching to the choir moment, we're in it.
Basketball made so much money overseas, man, in the last 20, 25 years. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Not ridiculous. It's great. Great for basketball. Basketball is a good sport. I like it. I like, no one's usually trying to hurt somebody else in basketball. I really like that about basketball. Usually guys are not trying to hurt each other in basketball. That's great. I love that. But you got to be really athletic to play. Guys get hurt all the time. I really hate seeing that. I hate seeing guys roll their ankles and twist their knees backwards. That bothers me. Oh, I hate to see it. But I do love to watch a good basketball game.
I mean, there has to be some level of risk in playing a physical sport. At what point do you tell someone you can't go at them as hard when it's your position to get rebounds is extremely physical. You have to get the ball when a 6'10" large fella that can jump high wants the ball just as much as you. And you have to beat that person out of getting the ball. It's going to be physical. And when it's going to be physical, there's going to be risk of injury.
Yeah. For sure. Basketball's great. I think it deserves all the success. That's great. But baseball...
Baseball ended up in its shadow, and that's the shame.
Well, why think of it that way? Again, if there's some new form of art that's so amazing, like that it incorporates 5 dimensions, right? And we decide that this is better than the Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
It doesn't devalue the Mona Lisa.
But we've answered this question 1,000 times. It's the owners that can make enough money, and if they put out the propaganda and people hear it the most, they're going to go along with it. So now we're stuck defending something with a small audience.
Well, I like this idea of a David versus Goliath scenario.
Totally.
So if we can be like, hey, fuck you, MLB TV, we're going to take clips from you and show the world how stupid you are. We're going to show clips of Billy Ripken staring at the sky, trying to figure out what to say that doesn't get him fired when he's just trying to speak honestly about why some of these rules are changing.
But I think that's why they like him on the show, is he supports the opinion that is being pushed right now.
Yeah, look, maybe we will never be a majority. Let's say this. Let's just pretend that we can never win over a majority of fans.
Okay.
I think I knew this, but a real good confirmation of that was the guy I talked to in Nevada, Right. And I didn't tell the best part about that story, by the way. I forgot the best part about the Nevada guy.
I don't want to do that.
I'm talking to this guy, and I'm like, well, Madison Bumgarner hit 5 home runs one year. And I was talking about Madison, and he's like, really? I don't believe you. And I actually got out my phone, and I typed in it, and then I looked back, and I'm like, I don't care if you believe me or not. He did it, and he hit 4 another year too. And I was like, the guy could go long. And I watched him do it many times, and it was so amazing when it happened. And he disagreed with me, and he was great about it.
Yeah.
And we just disagreed, and it was real friendly. He invited me to play pool with him, and I politely declined. I went back to hang out with my buddies.
Yeah.
He was next player, and like. Sometimes I need to just take a step back and be like, whoa there, old guy, just take a step back and be like, this guy loves baseball. He spoke to me from the heart.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of us were like super, drunk or anything.
Yeah.
It was probably right at that right level where people are getting real and are still well, kind of well spoken. And I guess there's, for me, in professional sports, on one end of the spectrum, you have golf, disc golf, maybe baseball's close to it. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you have the UFC in terms of violence. Okay. And it's difficult to rank everything in a two-dimensional scale, but I'm going to, let's just try to do it. We've got hockey over here. They have sanctioned fighting.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to love hockey. I think hockey's beautiful to watch.
Oh, so you're one of the people that doesn't watch.
With the sanctioned fighting, there is I will not watch anything that has sanctioned fighting in it. Goodbye. I'm sorry. Give me a new league in time when you figure out that this is dumb. Seriously. And I think maybe they will figure out that they have to stop. Maybe they won't. This is the thing. I'm in the minority. Okay. Like UFC is incredibly popular. So I have to acknowledge this. Okay. I have to acknowledge that this thing is incredibly popular, even though I pretend it doesn't exist, because I think watching people like punch each other in the face, like
I prefer the term bludgeon.
It doesn't appeal to me. I don't like gladiatorial combat. Okay. Yeah. Even though I don't want to take that away from people. I really don't. I think that, I don't know, man. I mean, if people are really into that, what can I do? But I don't want to support it. I literally pretend it doesn't exist. You talk about boxing. I definitely am not into that. Mm-hmm. Even though I respect that at least that's a little more of a sporting thing, where you get the bags on your hands.
Just seems like there's something possibly more artful.
Yeah, so I appreciate the sports that are on the other end of the spectrum where you're not trying to hurt someone.
Yep.
You're trying to outplay them not only with your physical ability, but also with your mental ability. That, to me, is the best. And whenever you have a team sport, it's hard to, the physicality can come in. You have interactions that can get difficult, guys throwing each other in baseball. The play at the plate is always violent. And maybe I talk about, hey, these are athletes. They should be able to take a little bit of risk. It's again, where do you draw the line between what's too much risk? Where do you draw the line with technology? What's too much technology? What's good technology? Do we draw the line at a microprocessor? Can you wear a microprocessor? There's a memo that's about to get leaked from the commissioner's office that was about some dust up between the Yankees and the Red Sox involving Apple Watches.
And please go on.
They don't want it to go public, but I think it's
really?
about to go public. Yeah.
You know what I heard is about to go public? So the statistician's been looking through their notes, and they've established that shortstops are the lightest hitting member of the defensive society, we'll say. And I think catchers are close, but shortstop was ranked at the lowest after our National League pitchers, I guess. But what they're saying is that there is going to be a form of a designated hitter for the shortstop. Mm-hmm. And so in order to get just I should use the word inject a little more offense into the sport, it's going to be allowed that you can have a second designated hitter for the shortstop.
Yeah.
Now
it's time.
Oh God. Okay. So tell me that doesn't sound like the iciest, steepest hill you've ever come across. I don't care what kind of footwear you have on.
Do you know how difficult it is to be a catcher? I mean, come on. Why do these guys have to bat? I mean, look at their knees. We could extend their career. Don't you want to see
what you could have?
Another year?
You know what you could have? You could hire people as catchers that they don't even have to stand. Their just body shape is a perfect ball already.
It's just a funnel.
So they don't have to, yeah, exactly. They don't have to do anything. They don't have to run. They don't have to hit.
Yeah, okay.
They can just be a ball. Throw it here. And then...
What do you do if the guy's on first?
If who's on first?
The guy.
The ball? The ball-shaped team?
Ball's on first?
No, they don't have to bat, man. The only thing they have to do is be a catcher and be able to throw the ball. They'd still have to be able to throw the ball, I think.
Yeah, you have to throw the ball. That's what I'm talking about.
Maybe they could have...
I mean, the guy's on first. He's threatening to steal second.
Yeah,
That's
they
the
could... No,
implication.
they have a slingshot. Is it...
A slingshot? A trebuchet?
Yeah. Hits the
so
target.
you're talking about an automatic
90%.
catcher.
Yeah.
A machine catcher.
Well, shaped like a machine.
You want to give him the tools
Shaped
to
like a
do his
funnel.
job better.
Yeah, but he
out
doesn't
of
have
the
to bat.
squat.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have to bat.
Doesn't have to.
Oh, of course. He's just the best machine guy with
He's
the thing.
extremely slow running. He has a very bad body type for
sure.
aerodynamics.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about a designated center fielder? So he's just really fast. He's got really long arms.
And a rocket.
Designated center fielder.
Yep.
Doesn't have to bat.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
More action.
Okay. Keep going.
One of your three outfielders, you can choose which one.
One
gets
of
a
the three
designated
outfielders.
fielder.
You're now telling me who's an outfielder and who's an infielder. I thought I could play my defense wherever I wanted to.
For one more year, you can. Yeah.
We hope.
One more year.
Yeah.
That's have fun this season. Yeah. So I wanted to make sure to bring this one up because you've reminded me of this a couple times, and you know, it's an analogy again that it fits, but it has nothing to do with baseball until you tie them together. So Columbia River is a huge, massive river that travels along the border of Oregon and Washington. At some point in the 1900s, the white man decided that it was going to dam the Columbia, and they could create a lot of power and control by doing that. And so there was a lot of Native American tribes that used the Columbia River as their livelihood. That river supported them in their life pursuits, but they were getting kicked out of the area. And not a new news story, but you know, their land got taken from them. And part of their land that they used was the Columbia. And there was one spot in particular that the Columbia came together, and it was known as the greatest salmon fishery in world history. It's basically show up, stick a net in the water, and come out with 100 salmon. And it was one of the tribe's most sacred spots, if not the most sacred. So they were going to dam the Columbia. So they did that. And then somehow they were able to say, we understand that you love this fishing hole. What we're going to do is, I think that the Columbia had already been dammed for maybe a year or two. And then for some reason, they had to bring the level down far enough that that fishing hole would kind of be available again, you know, not just drowned in water. And so they invited the tribe to come back and see it in its, you know, sort of original state. And I was told that most of the people decided not to go and see it one more time, because what could be more depressing than being in the place you love the most, knowing no matter what, you've seen it for the last time or experienced it for the last time. This is what I think the feeling we're going through as we march towards opening day is, you've already accepted it better than me. I'm quaking in my boots knowing that when the season starts, it's not that I'm making a declaration that I'm out of the sport, but I would have to put myself in a position to make sure I watch, not just watch because I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first heard that stat about the Columbia, I was surprised that these people wouldn't want that one chance to see the magical thing, because compare it to my version of Tiger Stadium, where I got to be whisked into Magic Land and I get to see one game at Tiger Stadium instead of 0. Oh my God. Who knows what I would pay to have that opportunity. It's like Bezos calls me to go to space. You want to go? It's like, all right, I'll go. But I guess the difference is I never went to Tiger Stadium, so I would take that. But those people lived on this river, so they already experienced it. and getting a one more chance didn't really do it for them.
It wouldn't be the same.
Because they already knew. Yeah. I always feel like I made a huge mistake never going.
Right.
And I'll never get to see it. Did you know that in the final game at Tiger Stadium, in their Tigers final at bat, in the 8th inning while they were winning, a left-handed hitter hit a grand slam off the top of the roof in the last game at Tiger Stadium in the last inning? Doesn't there seem to be a little magic involved with that?
Oh, yeah.
He got a long standing ovation because every Detroit person knew that they just saw something that was going to mark time. And they pushed it. I think it was pushing a 5-minute standing O. Like, let's give they were basically giving a curtain call to the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
So Ty Cobb played here, like, stand and bow, Ty. You know, all the things that they'd got to witness and be a part of, or their grandpa witnessed, or their great grandpa witnessed and got to be a part of. It was a standing ovation for that.
So I have an idea to save baseball.
Make it more like basketball?
Oh, no, that's the
Or
current.
football.
That's the current idea. I have a new idea.
Oh, okay. What a fresh take.
Yeah, I got a new idea on how to save baseball.
Great.
The commissioner must be chosen from a pool of the best umpires.
Oh, chosen by the umpires. Okay.
Be one of the best umpires.
Oh, the commissioner is an umpire.
The commissioner shall be chosen from a pool of the best senior umpires.
Who votes?
A pool of senior umpires and me. I don't know. Probably. That's a great question. How about we have some representatives from the owners, some representatives from the players, some representatives from the umpires, and let's throw in the press a little bit. I don't know. That's always problematic. But we can find a way to do this.
Yeah, I think
here's the idea. The idea is if the owners want to have a representative that's like, hey, I represent the owners, they can do that. But the commissioner of baseball and all the powers contained within him should be held by someone who comes from a more reputable pedigree. Someone who is a steward of the game, not the guy who represents the interests of the owners. They can have that. They can go ahead and have the players have that. They have a guy who represents them. The owners can have that too. But the commissioner of baseball, in my perfect world, let's try something different, because I don't think what they're doing is working.
Well, that's not going to be optioned until the sport falls on its face.
Yeah. Well, but I can talk about. Look, man, some of these pie in the sky ideas, I know they're not practical, and it's fun to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay. I know that's not going to happen. Like when I tell you I have the solution for steroids in baseball, and I tell you it's to put the guy's hat size on the back of the baseball card, we both know that's not happening.
Oh, it's so good though.
But it's funny.
Okay. So I had someone contact me and said he wanted to hear more of steroid talk from us. So we should dive into that for a moment. But he also added, and it was just in a text, but it was fairly long. He mentioned that his idea was you are allowed to take steroids, but you have to admit it, and you can never be admitted to the Hall of Fame.
What? That's an interesting idea. I like it. It's
I mean, yeah, he threw it out there.
Interesting. I don't think I'm on board with it, but that's very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I put a little thought into it. I don't think I'm on board with it.
Well, I'm
either.
on record as saying we need a Hall of Fame and the other one.
Hall of Shame.
You could call it that. You can. And it's just the idea is you tell the full story so everyone's happy, except that you make sure that one play. I don't care about them. Let's just get real. I don't care about the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Who cares? It's a museum. Look, it's a symbol that we can use when we talk about the sanctity of the game and whatever this guy gets into it, because it's not necessarily about with Barry Bonds, the discussion isn't about his stats, obviously. It's about the guy
and the man,
right?
yeah.
And that's,
the ball player.
We're trying to get to these deeper issues where we're not necessarily talking about baseball when we talk about these things. We're talking about fame versus infamy. We're talking about how far can you bend or break the rules and still get away with it.
Yeah.
And I'm the fairness police. You're the humanity guy. And this is going to be a struggle, but a journey that we're embarking together. And opening day is not going to be the end, because I know it's going to be sad for you too.
That was a good sign.
It's going to be sad for me too, but I already felt it because they're doing this in spring training already. To be like, DH for the Giants.
Yeah, that first announcement.
It's going to hurt. You and I even talked about
batting.
Hey, let's go to the game and like get t-shirts like that are like no DH or play real baseball or something. But like, I honestly can't even be bothered to do that. I'm so depressed about this.
Hey, that's fine.
It's not worth the sunburn to me right now. Like, that's where I'm at.
Okay, but let's start that. It's not worth summer. Let's start that right now. If you're someone that agrees with play real baseball, I suggest if you go to games, when the designated hitter comes up to bat at your home game, you boo and you say play real baseball.
Yeah, I know.
And
I don't think people around me would like that. I honestly, that's the breaking point for me, dude. Is that I already know that
the fans are
I will be annoying myself, but I'm going to get there where I'm going to do exactly what you said. I'm going to boo. I'm going to say play real baseball, and apparently no one wants to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
The guy in Genoa didn't want to hear it. We had a great discussion. He's like, does not care. Yeah, he thinks these things are great.
There are times in life where certain things are unpopular, but it's worth making a stand on some level, and that's it.
Hey, AstroTurf went away, right?
Yeah, it worked itself out.
Okay. Let's try it. What are some other wins, man?
Okay, yeah.
I guess we're not doing the sticky stuff this year.
It's not just AstroTurf, but it took a while to realize that the multi-sport stadiums weren't bringing the fans in. So that pretty much went out of style, and it was very in vogue for decades. A lot of teams did it.
Yeah.
And they all went away with it except maybe Busch Stadium, but Busch Stadium, St. Louis doesn't. Wait, do they have a football team?
I don't know.
Yeah, you wouldn't know such things. So is there any multi-purpose stadium in baseball right now?
A's Coliseum.
Nope, they went to Vegas. Raiders went to Vegas.
I know, but that stadium was built as a multi-purpose stadium.
Built as
You're
one,
saying
yeah.
just because the seats are pushing permanently, it's not a...
Okay.
If they wanted to play football there, they just got to oil those wheels up and push those seats back.
Yeah.
Well, A's want a whole new situation. I hope they get it. I really do.
Is the owner paying for it, or is the city?
No, that's why these things always take forever, is because the owners want the city to pay for as much of it as possible.
I want you to make my team worth more.
This is the type of discussion that is super depressing, where it's like the taxpayers pay for a billionaire stadium. Yeah. Like,
entertain us.
Oh no, we have to pay it or they're going to move to Tampa.
Yeah, the threat. Yep.
Yeah. We talk about, man, how I am such a tortured soul when it comes to baseball, and how baseball has broken my heart so many times, man. The strike, Barry Bonds moving to Tampa, the Giants moving to Tampa. Okay. These things all stretch me to the breaking point, to the point where I hate to admit that I'm really kind of only there for the playoffs. Like, that's so embarrassing to me, but it's not by choice. It's because it's just not It's not the same. It feels like a video game now. And if I want to play baseball video games, I should just go play baseball video games.
Yeah, you could play 30 games by the time the one on TV ends.
I don't, and I still love watching players, like we got a guy in the Giants who's been on the team almost, I think his whole career, Brandon Belt.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. But I mean,
is anyone going to the ballpark to watch Brandon Belt?
He's got his fans. No disrespect on that guy. I'm trying to find some positive because it's like I get so overwhelmed with the negative. I want to find some. Let's talk about some positive things.
No, I think what you're searching for is you want to show up to the ballpark excited, and it doesn't feel like you can do that anymore.
I want to make, yeah.
And that's what hurts.
Yeah, it does.
I'm with you. My girlfriend said, can we please go to a game this year? And I said, okay.
We should go to a game.
But I'm going to lose my voice because when the designated hitter comes up, I'm going to have to stand up and yell real baseball so that the players on the field hear me.
Maybe we come up with a pact where we only do it the first time or something. Like maybe we make a little promise where we're only going to do this once, and we'll be good after that.
Fuck, be good.
I know.
Okay.
Well, I mean, but maybe that's a way we could go. I don't know. Fucking. I
have a really high quality boo.
Let's hear it.
No, I'd break the mic. I only can get away with this, probably once a month because it's so rattling to the voice.
Yeah. Okay, here's the thing.
People hear it.
If we go and we do this, we have to show. We can't bring girlfriends because we're gonna make a stink.
I can't go to a game this year without bringing the lady.
All right. Well, yeah. I'm just saying we run the risk of embarrassing the ladies because
I warned
people her. We're gonna boo super loud. We're gonna be, if you're gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. We might be escorted out.
You think they'd boot us for that? I guess we did.
Why am I afraid that they would?
I don't think anything would surprise you.
If we were way too loud and way obnoxious, I think, and we did it every single time the DH came up, which would be a lot. That would be a lot. Think about that.
Yeah, well, it'd probably be 8 times.
Then I think that you could totally see people in our section lobbying multiple complaints, and once they get that third complaint, you get kicked out.
Yeah. I think to make a point, you can only do it against your home team. Because I'm disappointed that the Giants have accepted this.
I know. I'm so disappointed.
That the representative of the Giants said, I guess I don't know.
How can you blame them though? They're going to give ABs away?
But did every owner have to agree on this, or was it majority? Do we know how the Giants voted towards this?
We do not. We do not.
And we never will, huh? How unfair is that? You don't know what organization said we really want to remain.
I don't care anymore.
Pitchers hitting. Oh, you're done for.
I really don't care. Honestly, do not care which way the team voted, which that team the other. Who cares?
I mean, that tells a lot right there.
I guess.
You went from having your heart in the game wrapped around the Giants' finger to, fuck them.
Pretty much.
That's the stinker. That's the feeling.
Well, I don't want to blame the team. I have previous issues with the team, but now I've got issues with the league.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why season 1 moved me. It's because something had happened to the game. It was different. It had changed. It didn't taste the same anymore. And I couldn't quite put my finger on it. And it just manifests itself as me just not clicking, not watching slowly.
Yeah.
Slowly, more and more over time. And yeah, like a fair weather fan, boom, playoffs come around and I'm hosting parties. Come on over. Let's watch this.
Yeah.
Giants Dodgers. Why? I can't miss this. This is great. But then, and playoff baseball is different. They're not pulling out the starter based on a pitch count. So it feels right. And I had a lot of fun watching those games, and it was a bittersweet end there. And we talked about that, but that's whatever, that's not important really. It's important in the context of us talking about how I feel about how umpires can use better tools to make better calls and eliminate the delay of instant replay, which I think is really important. You want to speed up the game, get rid of make instant replay instant. This is such a no-brainer in my mind. I think we'll get there.
Not if I can help it.
Yeah, I know. You're like, just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. And I guess in another world, I'd probably be there too. But I guess I've accepted, well, you can't get rid of it. It's there. So why not fix it? Make it better. And I know that's part of the problem. It's weird rules on top of weird rules, you know? I get that.
I mean, you brought it to my attention that once we get to the point where the fans can see the pitches better than the umpire, what are we doing? Like, that's the crux of it.
Wouldn't that be a huge problem? You know, you talk about like fans all collectively, you know, being against something. Have you ever read the short story where it's like it's a sporting event and you give all the fans these mirrors on a sunny day?
I want to read that.
And if you don't like what the official called,
oh Jesus,
everyone just points the mirror at him and he fries. Think about it.
Who wrote that?
That's some science fiction stuff.
That's incredible.
Right, but you could see this happening. You could do this on a sunny day in a giant stadium. You just give everyone a giant mirror. It's like an inch.
It's like 6 seconds. Yeah, and
and you're toast.
Combustion.
Think about it.
Yeah. Jeez.
This is why you want to give the power to dumb fans who would do that. You know, who would jump on this bandwagon. Ha ha. Oh, wait, we just killed a man. Oh, none of us is individually responsible. It's
squashed like a bug.
That you and me, I feel like we're the guys not holding the mirror. You know, we're like, oh, hold on, wait a minute. Oops. You just killed another part of baseball.
I'm picturing the metal detector test, and it's like, hey, what are you doing with that? And you go, I'm extremely vain. Oh, okay.
They're making rules for one guy. These are knee-jerk reactions.
Well, yeah.
When you're making new rules because of the actions of one individual, this couldn't be more indicative of a bad decision. In any other game, when you're making a rule in the service of one single individual, your priorities are so far out of whack. You got to tear the whole thing down.
Yeah, you're a chicken with the head cut off.
You got to tear the whole thing down before you can build it up again. Can you imagine if I'm working on a video game and we put in some code? This has actually happened, actually.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, I have actually done this where there's code for just one guy. But it was to keep him from cheating. It wasn't like to make like highlight him. I'm sure there are games where they like grant access to prominent players who are like streamers, who give them publicity. So I'm a little out of touch when it comes to that. I mean, I'm not out of touch. It's another thing that I choose to ignore. Like American League Baseball, which I can't ignore anymore. Thank you.
Yeah.
So easy to ignore. Oh, you know, I hear the Yankees and the Rays are throwing each other. Another reason to not watch that brand of baseball. Thanks for confirming for me why I don't need to. Oh, now it's everywhere. Great. Let the headshots begin. Let the attempted murder trials begin. Okay. I can't wait to see the Giants and the fucking Dodgers throw at each other for the next 25 years. Oh, it'll be great. Oh, they'll be talking about on SportsCenter who threw at him harder. Oh, who's got he shattered his femur on this one. Wow, they really hate each other. What a rivalry. Can you believe the rivalry? Next up? Oh, 25 years ago today, so-and-so broke someone's orbital. Oh, look at that. Oh, they really did not like each other. What a rivalry. Oh, such a great rivalry. One of the best in sports. Can you believe it, Bob? Oh, yeah, they fixed his eyeball. He never looked the same. I don't want to watch that. And look, my crystal ball is fucking clear as day on this one. Clear as day. The minute something happens in the stands, the minute somebody just accidentally throws 1-2 inside, boom, there, plunk fest, go. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And the fans are going to fuel it, and the YouTubers are going to fuel it, and the UFC gambling assholes are going to fuel it, and it's just... Go make a new sport. American hardball. Go play with all the DHs, the BHs, the EHs, the XHs. Go. Bat 5 guys. I don't care. They can do steroids all day long. They can wear armor. They can crowd the plate. Make the plate bigger. Make the plate smaller. I don't care. Don't call it baseball.
Yeah, that was pretty well said. For being a rant, that was pretty well said. Congratulations.
I'm fired up.
Okay, I got a uplifting note.
Oh, please.
I saw a beautiful ballpark today. It was just a field, though. It was 2 fields that were next to each other in a green, grass-laden park with huge cypress trees all around it. And a big, fat, glowing hill up and left to left center all the way to center field. A humongous, gentle, sloping hill that kept the ball off of the streets and remained in the sunken field. It was a result that spoke for itself, where I went out and stood at home plate, and I went out and stood on the mound, and I looked at how far the mound was from home plate. And when I stood at the plate, I tried to stand where I used to stand when I played. And I looked out, and there was a beautiful green grass field with a beautiful city in the distance. And what I've been told is that people with very tiny mitts will go out there and play the old version of baseball. And I guess it's hard to say at this point, but doesn't it seem like there's a chance that as things continue to get a little more stupid every year, that will just kind of grow in people's minds and go, there's something I like about this. I don't know what it is. I wonder if you got why don't the best players play like this? Like, what have we lost here? The thing that's going to allow that to happen the most, which is the most depressing, is the sport falls on its face. So it's not going to feel good when that happens, but yet there's going to be some part of us that's going to be there saying, you fucking morons, I told you that's what was going to happen. Why did I see it and you didn't?
Yeah.
But we're going to have to endure that. But I think that's where the hope could come from, is I can still stand on a field and get an emotion that makes me go, yes, there's something incredible about this. That brightness comes from the darkest tunnels. And if baseball goes through some really dark times, it's going to make the light shine that much brighter. And people are going to start to look for beacons of hope, which is something ain't right. This isn't how I remember it. You know, what is it that needs to change, or what is it that needs to go back to what it was, or what's wrong here? Really trying to establish what the problem is. And people are going to keep going back. If they're looking for answers, they're going to find the right ones, because the history has been written and talked about for decades. So it's not really hidden. No one's really talking about it right now. It's really hard to meet someone and even hear someone that agrees with us. Every now and again you do, but there's something about what we're saying which is so obvious, and at the same time it's shocking you're not hearing it from more places, but it's out there. There's decades of this. That's what makes me so shocked no one's saying it now, is at the most pertinent time to raise your hand and say, I think they're doing something wrong here. Nobody seems to be doing it. Don't get me started.
Yeah, it's time.
What?
I don't care.
All right, I'll go. I mean, that tells a lot right there.
I guess.
I'm so glad you heard it. Oh, okay. What a fresh take. They're not documenting what happens in the game. They are telling the game how it needs to play itself. If you're someone that agrees with play real baseball, I suggest if you go to games, when the designated hitter comes up to bat at your home game, you boo, and you say play real baseball.